are you? Welcome. Sorry. This is the Nisha Jackson Show. I'm Rusty Humphries, and I cannot not wake up all night long. It's driving me nuts, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only guy, Nisha. I don't know if this is happening to a lot more people, if this is a new thing, but I keep waking up at night, and it's driving me crazy. How are you doing, by the way?
How am I doing?
Yeah. Do you sleep at night?
Good. I sleep really well at night, but I have gone through periods of time that I don't sleep. Of course I sleep, but I'm like waking up multiple times. And, a lot of people, most people don't understand why they're waking up. They just think, oh, I just have insomnia, or I just can't sleep.
Or I got to go to the bathroom again.
Sleep. Yeah, I have to go to the bathroom again, which, by the way, is not, you don't really have to go to the bathroom.
You don't?
No. I'm going to tell you why you don't really have to go to the bathroom at night.
I'm all ears. Go ahead. You're on.
This is going to be a major breakthrough for most people listening to this. So, people who don't sleep, and I have felt like this, feel like they've been hit by a Mack truck. And sometimes it's like every morning for 3 months straight, you wake up and you're like, wait, I just lay down. I don't feel like I slept at all. And it's so hard to get going the next day. You get brain scramble. You can't finish a task. You start getting anxious and depressed. You have problems even pooping. It's like your whole system is a mess. And it's frightening because many people can't even perform at their jobs when they don't sleep. And I don't have to get into all of the things that happen in your body when you don't sleep. Your immune system is more compromised. You're more likely to get depressed. It affects other hormones. It causes more fat gain in your body especially around your midsection. So the most common cause of inability to stay asleep through the night is your awake hormone, which is your cortisol, kind of like adrenaline.
Okay.
That comes up at night. So it comes up because we've kind of worn out our stress system, right? So what happens is that when we're running on adrenaline, maybe we're cracked out with ADD drugs, or we're cracked out with caffeine, or we're cracked out with stress, or we're even a high performance athlete where we're using a lot of adrenaline all the time. What happens over time is that our stress system gets worn down. And so you actually end up producing less of that get up and go hormone during the day. So you feel like total crud during the day. You don't have any energy. You hit the wall at 2:00 in the afternoon. You don't know what's going on. You this heightened sense of exhaustion.
Yes.
And then sometimes it's awful. People get a second wind at 7:00 at night. It's like, woohoo, let's go. I can get up until 2 in the morning. Worst case scenario, because that's not what your body is supposed to be saying at 7:00 at night. So your whole rhythm is off. Like you're tired during the day and wired at night.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is that when you finally give your body and your brain a break in the evening, you sit down, kind of veg out on the couch or whatever, or you don't have so many things coming into your brain, all of a sudden your body starts making cortisol. And the cortisol is the wake up your brain hormone. That's not the one you want at 2:00 in the morning, right? So that is the most common cause of wakefulness at night, is that you go to bed, you might fall asleep, but you wake up repeatedly. And when that cortisol comes up, what happens is it stimulates your bladder. And then you got to get out of bed and pee, or at least you think you got to get out of bed and pee. But why did you never have to get out of bed and pee before? It's not like you're drinking 7 gallons of water before you go to bed. So people might have to get up 3 times at night to go to the bathroom. They don't really have to do that. It's not like their bladder is so full they got to go empty it. It's that their cortisol is spiking and it's telling their brain to wake up. It's stimulating their bladder, telling them that they have to go urinate. And sometimes people even wake up and be starving, and they'll go to the kitchen and start eating. So this is a dysrhythm of cortisol. So that's what we have to correct if you want to correct your wakefulness, is we got to correct the rhythm.
Okay.
So one of the things that's super important to correct the rhythm is to not give your body anything when you go to bed that would cause your blood sugar to dive in the middle of the night. So let's just use ice cream. Let's use ice cream as a treat that's really delicious to have before you go to bed, or sometime in the evening after dinner.
I've heard of people eating ice cream at night. I think some people have actually tried that.
I think some people have done it.
Yeah.
So or any sugary treat, anything, just pick whatever you want. Any sugary, floury treat at bedtime. Or not even at bedtime, after any time in the evening. So what happens is your glucose level goes up, your insulin goes up with it, and then it might stay up for 2 to 3 hours, depending on how close you ate it to bedtime, right? So guess when that blood sugar is going to come down? It's going to drop sometime around, well, depending on when you go to bed and what time you ate this, but it's going to drop around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then guess what it's going to do? Your blood sugar drops, which then spikes your cortisol, your wake-up hormone, and all of a sudden, ding, 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 I'm awake. And it's not like, oh, I'm awake, I got to go to the bathroom, and then I'm going to collapse back into bed. It's like, I'm awake, my brain's racing, I'm thinking about all the things I need to do the next day, and the car payment I didn't make yesterday, and my daughter that I didn't call back the day before, and an argument you had with your boss. Your brain's going nuts.
Right.
And so that is cortisol stimulating your whole system to wake up because it thinks it's morning. Mm-hmm. Like your blood sugar crashed, it stimulated cortisol, now you're awake. So that's one of the things that you could stop doing that would not allow your blood sugar to drop in the middle of the night, that would cause cortisol to go up. The other thing is drinking. So if people drink, and most people will say, I can have a glass of wine, but if I have 2, I can't sleep. Or I can get to sleep, but I start waking up. Or I sleep all night, and then I wake up the next day and I feel terrible, like foggy brain. Mm-hmm. So alcohol really does this because it's all about glucose again, right? And blood sugar regulation. So the other thing is that our bodies are really used to being scheduled. So just like we did when our children were young, most of us who are listening to this have had children, or they're familiar with children. They've had brothers and sisters. And what we do with little kids is we schedule them, right? Well, they should be scheduled. So you get them ready for bed. No one's running around screaming 5 minutes before you put a little baby to bed, right? You're quiet, you're rubbing their back, you're giving them a bath, you're turning down the TV, you're kind of preparing their body for sleep. Yes. But we don't do that as adults. There's no preparation. We go, full bore until bedtime, running around trying to get, have a party, have some more drinks, have some ice cream, do a couple more loads of laundry, answer 75 emails, get really stimulated with a crazy, TV series you're watching that's like completely disturbing to your brain, and then just throw yourself into bed and hope to God you could sleep.
You got to go on Facebook first too.
Yeah, go on Facebook and get more depressed.
Right.
So this is kind of like the situation. I think most people listen to this can go, oh my gosh, I totally do that every night. So that is what you want to get under control. Like, hello, let's just turn down the lights or turn off the lights, maybe start using those special glasses at night, and kind of key yourself, just dial yourself down. And take a bath, use some lavender, have some chamomile tea. I mean, this sounds like grandma, but it works. It works to tell your brain it's time to go to sleep and start to get more scheduled. Work with your body a little bit. This is my favorite supplement. In fact, Michael, my sweetie, had recently a problem sleeping. And he said, Nish, I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't go back to sleep. I've done it 3 nights in a row. And I said, oh, you're making cortisol in the middle of the night. He's like, yeah, I keep having to get up and go pee. And I said, okay, we need to fix that. We need to give you 2 stress PM before you go to sleep. And what that's going to do is it's going to blunt cortisol. This stuff, I could give this to a 5-year-old. This is so safe. It's extracted from egg yolks. Okay, it's not egg yolks, but the chemical is that helps blunt cortisol is extracted from egg yolks. And what it does is it blunts cortisol, so it keeps the cortisol down like quiet during the night so that you're not spiking and having to wake up and go to the bathroom, or wake up and start thinking about all the things you didn't do or need to do. This is not a sleeping pill. It does not sedate you, but it keeps cortisol low, as it should be, while you're sleeping. Isn't this fascinating?
It is fascinating. Can I ask you a question that's like the exact opposite for 1 second?
Yes.
Okay, so I traveled from Africa home. I've been jet lagging like 2 weeks, and it's driving me crazy. I the other day slept like 12 hours. That's not good either. Is that, what would you suggest for something like that? AM stress?
I would use both of these, because this keeps the cortisol low, and this helps the sleep brain chemicals. It's just called sleep.
Okay, so for folks who are listening, what are you holding up here?
I'm holding the sleep supplement and the stress PM supplement.
Okay.
So stress PM does exactly what it says it does. It blunts the stress chemical at night, which is cortisol, not a sleeping pill.
All right.
The sleep supplement works on sleep brain chemicals. So you just basically, Rusty, you just have to tell your brain what to do. Like, hello, we're in a different time zone. We're not in Africa anymore. We need to switch over. So you have to sometimes just tell it what to do, and these two will tell it what to do.
Okay, that's great advice.
Sometimes we'll have to do something called a melatonin challenge, where we ramp our patients up on melatonin pretty high and then bring them back down again to break the sleep cycle. Because some people have been doing this for years, and it's like so ingrained in their brain that we have to really change it up more aggressively.
My daughter's really good at taking melatonin. I think she's like at 20, 25 milligrams. That's probably good, huh?
That's pretty high.
Yeah,
that's pretty high. Yeah. I would say that's probably too high.
I would say that too, but you know what? She's almost 20, so she knows it all.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
Just 2 or 3 other things.
Yeah.
Please do not have light hit your eyes. Like I said, in the evening, turn your lights down. If you get up in the middle of the night, I would recommend taking 2 more of these if you wake up in the night, because you have to break that cycle. Again, not a sleeping pill. It just keeps the cortisol down. But light in your eyes will stimulate melatonin, which will stimulate cortisol. We don't want that. Keep your bedroom dark and cool. We sleep better when it's dark and very cool, like 68 degrees. Kick your animals out of the room or anything else that is waking you up at night. That might be a very loud snoring person. I don't know. Need to deal with that with like earplugs, eye mask, whatever. Again, this is all starting to sound really grandma-ish. But keeping the light out of your eyes really does help, and it really does work. Stop drinking caffeine after 2 o'clock. If you have fatty liver, which is what I talked about last week, you have to stop drinking caffeine after 2 p.m. because if you do, your liver is so sluggish that it's going to take too long to metabolize out the caffeine. Now, you might not feel stimulated, but your liver has not metabolized it, which means it's still affecting your nervous system and causing you not to sleep. So that's another important little caveat in getting your body rested and feeling good the next day.
Awesome. All great advice. If you want to find out more and you want to get some of these supplements she's talking about, the PM stress or the sleep supplement, also AM stress is great too, isn't it?
Yeah, so AM stress brings the cortisol back up during the day. It looks like this one. It looks just like it, AM and PM stress. But this one brings it up during the day and helps optimize it so that you feel more energy, focus, stamina. You can actually get a task done. And then PM stress is for blunting the cortisol and getting your brain to calm down and rest and recover.
All great supplements. Go to nishajackson.com to find out more. That is nishajackson.com. You can also, if you would please, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you share it and let people know. We're heard on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple TV, Roku, wherever you're looking for any kind of good show. Well, no one does it better than Nisha Jackson. So we sure appreciate you. Thank you very much. Anything to wrap it up really quick, Nisha?
No, take your sleep very seriously. It's the only time to recover. You look better, feel better, age better, have less illness, get sick less often, and you're going to like people more if you sleep better because you won't be so irritable. And I think that's good. We got enough stress going on right now. We need to make sure that our mood is good.
I like it. I like it a lot. Well, we sure like you, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm Rusty Humphries. She is Nisha Jackson. And this is the Nisha Jackson Show.